Have you ever used an AI tool like ChatGPT and just thought, how does it do that? How does it seem to understand language, to write, to create, almost like magic? Well, today we're going to untangle the incredible technology behind it all, large language models. And you're about to see that what feels like magic is actually a really, really clever trick. Okay, so check this out. You give an AI a whole news article, this one about a guy literally selling snow online, and boom, in an instant, it gives you a perfect, concise summary. It feels like it read and understood the whole thing, right? So that's the big question, isn't it? How on earth can a machine digest an entire article, get the context, and pull out the most important bits just like a person would? To figure that out, we have to pop the hood and see what these language models are really up to. And here's the wild part. The answer is almost shockingly simple. At their core, these massively complex, seemingly brilliant systems are basically just incredibly powerful next-word prediction machines. No, seriously, that's it. That's the secret. Every single thing an LLM does, whether it's writing a poem, answering a question, or summarizing an article, it's all just the result of it playing a super sophisticated game of what word is most likely to come next based on pretty much everything ever written. So you might be thinking, how does that simple trick become so powerful? Well, you can think of it like a recipe. It takes 3 key ingredients to cook up an AI like this. Let's break them down. First up, you need a mind-boggling amount of data. And I mean an absolutely astronomical amount. We're talking trillions of words. They feed these models a library of text so fast, it makes every book on Earth look like a little pamphlet. So where do they get all this text? Well, a lot of it comes from datasets like this one, famously called the pile. And just look at what's in there. It's this giant mashup of the internet, books, news articles, scientific papers, you name it. This collection of text is basically the model's entire universe. It's everything it knows about our world. Ingredient number 2 is the real brains of the operation, a game-changing algorithm called the transformer. And its superpower, its secret sauce, is something called a self-attention mechanism. This is what lets the model look at a whole sentence and figure out which words are most important to each other, giving it a real sense of context. And the final ingredient? The training itself. It's just a relentless loop. The model gets a chunk of text, it guesses the next word, it checks if it got it right, and then it makes tiny little adjustments to its billions of internal connections to do better next time. It does this over and over and over again, billions of times, essentially teaching itself the rules and patterns of human language. Okay, so here's where it all clicks together. This one simple skill, just predicting the next word, is the key that unlocks a whole toolkit of incredible abilities. It's how we get from a simple prediction engine to an AI that can perform all sorts of useful tasks. Let's go back to our snow article. When we ask the AI for a summary, we're basically giving it a prompt, and it starts predicting the most statistically likely sequence of words that would form a good summary. It's not understanding like you and I do. It's just an incredibly powerful pattern matcher. Answering a question? Same exact principle. You give it the start of a sequence. Who wrote the book, The Origin of Species? And the model just finishes the sentence. The most probable completion it has learned from all its data is, of course, Charles Darwin. You can even do really complex things like sentiment analysis. You just have to frame it as a word prediction game. You ask it to complete the sentence. The sentiment of, I like Jackie Chan, is, and what does it predict? Positive. It's just a brilliantly elegant trick. Now, these models are not perfect right out of the gate. Not at all. If you just let them run wild after that initial training, they can be unpredictable, make stuff up, or generate things that are just plain unhelpful. That's why there's a super important refinement process to make them safer and more aligned with what we actually want. And these are the big challenges right here. You've got hallucinations, which is a huge one. That's when the AI just confidently invents facts out of thin air. They can get stuck in repetitive loops, and they often lack basic, real-world common sense. And of course, there's the security risk, the potential for this tech to be used to create things like super convincing phishing emails or spam. So how do you fix that? Well, one of the most important techniques is a mouthful, reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF. It's actually pretty simple, though. You have real people act as teachers. They look at different AI responses and rank them from best to worst. The model then gets trained to produce more of the kinds of answers that the humans liked, which helps steer it towards being more helpful and a lot safer. So where is all this going? What's next? Well, the roadmap for the next few years is honestly mind-blowing. We're moving way beyond just generating text and into something much, much more powerful. Just look at what we're expecting by 2026. This table gives you a snapshot of the major players. You'll see things like GPT-5 getting way better at chain-of-thought reasoning, basically its ability to think through a problem step by step. Then you've got models like Gemini 3, which are all about multimodal creativity, meaning they can work with images, audio, and text all at once. The whole field is branching out, with some focused on being open source and customizable, and others going for the best bang for your buck for businesses. And that brings us to the first huge leap forward: multimodality. We are leaving the world of text-only AI behind. The next wave of models will be able to see, hear, and process the world around them. So you could show your AI a picture of what's in your fridge and just ask it, hey, what can I make for dinner? That's the future we're heading for. And all of this builds up to the ultimate goal, what we call agentic AI. These are not just chatbots anymore. We're talking about AI systems that you can give a complex goal to, like plan my entire family vacation to Italy, or run a social media campaign for my new product. And it won't just tell you how. It will break it down into steps, use tools, and actually do it. So we're standing right on the edge of a new era, where AI shifts from being a tool that gives us information to a partner that takes action for us. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. What's the very first complex task you'd hand off to your own personal AI agent?